Hi, I welcome you all in my new tutorial. There I will be taking the topic subject statistics relevant for both boards class 11th ISC and CBSC. In the last video, I have already uploaded the introduction of statistics. So this video we will be taking forward the subject topic, and the topic is data. Before understanding data, let me put a scenario in front of you. Say for a company's manager, the company which is in operation of selling detergent powder. So the manager in the meeting says that in the last year, in the month of April, we made a sales of 2,50,000, and in the same year, this year, in the month of April, we made a sales of 1,50,000. So the figures is being mentioned 2,50,000 the last year same month, and this year same month 1,50,000. So what could be the interpretation of these figures? Now in the meeting, when the figures is put, they may discuss, they would like to see which states or which part of the country has made the highest sale and which part of the country where the sales has gone down. Alternatively, they may find out the reason how can we increase the sales, because from the figures it is very much clear that sales has gone down. How much percent it has gone down, that can also be calculated. Now the thing is, why the sales are being down, how they are able to decide, how will they analyze? The figures helps them to analyze. So this figure, this numerical figure, that gives them an expression of some event, or it's an observation that is being presented in the form of figures, in the forms of numbers. It's called data. So as you can see the meaning over there, like data are numerical descriptions of certain observations or things, whatever things which can be described in the form of numerics. Numerics means either in the forms of figures, they are datas. Now if the datas are being recorded unorganized manner, there is no systematic, there is no chronological, there is no order in collection of data, then it is termed as a raw data. But once that unorganized data is converted into organized data, that means when the figures are systematically organized, chronologically, order by order, they are placed, then it becomes an ordered data. So two types of data: when it is unorganized, that it's raw data; when it is organized, then it becomes an ordered data. Now the types of data, if we talk about the classification, so basically we have got two types of classification: primary source, which is made primary source, and secondary source. So through primary source, who collects the data through primary source? The investigator. And in the secondary source, from where these data are found out, you can find it out from the records of others. That means already the answers, already the materials and the figures is being published on some of the websites or magazines or the records which is available in the market. That is the secondary data. So what are the methods of collection of data? So let's say here, you can see here in the primary data, how can you collect the primary data? So you so the chart is, the flow chart is being made over there. There are total 5 ways. Like first is a direct personal investigation. So this personal investigation is basically the interview. Who is doing this interview? The investigator is doing this interview. He's asking the respondents directly. He's posing the questions to the respondents and getting the answers. That is the primary source of collection of data. First hand data, it is also primary data is also called first hand or original data. Another is indirect oral investigation. Now this indirect oral investigation, that means again the investigation, again the interview is being done, but not earlier. Under direct personal investigations, interview, one face to face or one to one talk was going on, but in indirect oral, the questions is asked, but it is answered by third person, not with that person, or the data are being found from some other person. Instead of that, Mr. X, some other person is giving the answer. That is why it is known as indirect oral investigation. Then third, as you can see from the information from correspondents. I hope you have seen over the TV in the news channels, usually the anchor takes you to the place where some of the events took place, and there one correspondent used to give the correspondent gives a lot of information about that present scenario. So that is the correspondence. That means they usually they transmit the informations in their own style and in their own mode. Then there is a mailed questionnaire. So questionnaire is nothing but a set of questions which is being prepared, either 15 to 20 questions, set of questions, which is usually in the form of objective types, because subjective usually are not given there. It's just objective type. 15 to 20 questions are being prepared by the investigator. Then the lastly is the questionnaires to be filled by the enumerators. So in this enumerator, they usually hand over the questionnaires to the person, to the respondents, and get the answers. And that answers and that forms is being transferred to the or hand over to the investigator. So this is the method from where the primary data can be collected. Direct personal investigation, that is in talking about the interview. Indirect oral investigation, it is also a form of interview, but the answers is being obtained from some third person. Information forum correspondence, that means the person is transmitting the informations in their own style and in their own mode. Mailed questionnaires, it's a set of questions of 15 to 20 questions in the objective forms is being given. And questionnaires to be filled by the enumerators, that is they are the person who hand over the questionnaires to the respondents and get the answers. They usually personally contact the respondents. And under secondary data, as I already mentioned, these data are already been existing in the market, so you can get the answers, you can get the figures either from the government publications, public records, business documents, then your technical and trade journals, and historical and statistical data. So then the last slide, I would say that the difference between primary and secondary. How can you differentiate between primary and secondary? The first differentiations among the primary and secondary is the first hand. Primary data is all the original data. It's the first hand data. Data is being collected for the very original and first hand. There is no addition, there is no literation, nothing has been done with that fact. It's the original fact as it is jotted down. And the secondary, it's not original, that means it is already existing, so it has been now refined by others and then it put on the portal. Then primary is expensive in terms of money, time, and your cost, whereas secondary is less expensive in terms of money, time, and cost. So this is all about the data, as you can see. So data is something that is numerical descriptions of things. Then we have got the classification, that is of primary and secondary. Lastly, the methods, as you can see, primary and secondary, then the difference. Hope you like the video. Thank you for watching.